It is good to see some white folks lamenting, actually. They're lamenting, they're panicking, they're angry. But guess what? On themselves, on their fellow folks. You know, like I always keep saying, it's not all white folks that do not understand the struggles of black Americans. A lot understand the struggles of black Americans, and kudos to those ones that understand the struggles of black Americans. But when I see clips like this, I wish videos like this will go viral more so that some of these white folks that don't understand what the struggles of black Americans are should be able to watch and probably learn. But anyways, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you, liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks. Also join my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, guys, with that being said, let's roll out the clips. I'll be back with commentaries. Let's go watch, guys.
This country is going to fail because of the selfishness of the people in the United States of America. And you know what? Maybe that's what has to happen. I am sick and tired of it. I can spend the next hour going over the horrible shit that white people did to black people for 400 damn years. Beat them, lynched them, hung them from trees, segregated them. We put Asians in internment camps. The horrors we did to the Native Americans, I can't even talk about it. It's so disgusting. But I'm sorry, it must be really hard. You don't have a lot of money. It must be really hard for you to fight for somebody else. It's pretty fucked up when you hear it that way, isn't it? You don't like my language? Why don't you go to a concentration camp and go watch the little girls that are suffering, trying to cut their own wrists with plastic knives because they're so depressed? Go look at the food that's moldy. Go look at the hunger strikes. They're being force-fed. The officers are taking bets on who's going to commit suicide. But I'm sorry, I'd hate to bother you. You know, the new episode of Ted Lasso is coming out. Hey, I heard X-Men 97. It's coming out on Wednesday, the last episode. You don't want to miss that. Hey, Oak Street's coming out. You better go see that. Ooh, there's a baseball game tomorrow. You better go see that. You better go buy the iPhone. It doesn't affect you. Martin Luther King said that a leader is not a searcher of consensus. They're a molder of consensus. Politicians tell you what you want to hear to make you feel good, so you give them money. And then they lie to you, and they don't do a damn thing with you. Nothing. And they tell you that we're the lesser of two evils. You have to vote for me. That's a choice. I'm telling you what you need to hear. I'm telling you that you are being selfish pricks. And when the money runs out, you think you have it bad now? Wait until gas is $6, $7, $8 and the oil reserves run out. When the Strait of Hormuz is down for another 6 months. You haven't seen anything yet. So you have a choice, America. You can take up a French-style revolution. You can do what French did in the 1980s and go on a general strike, a wildcat strike, and shut it down. Our money is our only power that we have over these rich people. You stop working, and you stop paying federal taxes, and you tell the government to fuck off. Until they remove him and they change this country and tax the shit out of rich people, so we're not fighting over breadcrumbs. Now, if you're not willing to do that, then you get what you want. Your silence. Because the 3 officers that stood by and watched George Floyd get murdered, they're just as complicit as Derek Chauvin. And that's exactly what you people are doing. Hey, it sucks what's happening to him, but I got to go to work, sorry. Hey, got to watch Spider-Man. I got to see Ted Lasso. I can't, I won't. First, they came for the immigrant. People aren't so upset about what's happening because you don't give a damn, right? You see people in concentration camps, over 50 people have died. Oh, I wish I could do something. I have to watch the new episode of Ted Lasso. Oh, it sucks that Donald Trump bombed a school and 180 girls died. I have to go see the new Spider-Man. Oh, it really sucks that Donald Trump is a rapist, but it wasn't my mom. Hey, you want to go to Chili's for lunch? Hey, it sucks about the insurrection, but it wasn't my dad. Hey, you want to go play basketball today? That's what we do. We don't care. Because we only care when something affects us because we're selfish. We are unwilling to sacrifice our personal comfort for anybody else. And that actually brings us why we're here. Because since 1619, that's exactly what white people have done as a majority. I don't care, not my problem. We literally stood by while people were hanging in goddamn trees, while they were beaten, treated like animals, couldn't vote for the first 200 years, weren't even citizens because of that piece of shit Andrew Jackson. And you know what white people said? Want to go see Spider-Man? Want to go watch a baseball game? It's not my problem. It doesn't affect me. That's why America is not a great country. And you know what's interesting? When I hear people say, Paul, I have heard you talk about a general strike, but you know what? I'm poor. I can't. I won't. I can't. I won't. I'm so sick of that shit. Go look at Albania, okay? They make $900 a month before taxes. 20% of their country live in poverty. The Kushners try to buy a piece of land, their island, and turn it into $1 billion rich person resort, which is going to destroy their economy and make prices so high that they wouldn't afford to live there. You know what they did? They protested for 6 damn weeks. People living in poverty because they gave a shit about their fellow man. Not us. No, no, no. Not here. We're the greatest country in the world, but I won't sacrifice 1 ounce of comfort. Tell me, when we had the No Kings protest, what did all of you do? On a Saturday, outside of working hours, when it's 70 degrees, 8 million people got off your lazy asses and actually gave a shit about somebody else. Out of 350 million people, because it doesn't affect me. I don't care. It's not my problem. That is why America's not great. And that's why we had this. The Kansas City Monarchs. That's why black people had to play on a Negro baseball team. Because white people said, it doesn't affect me. I'm going to go watch my white baseball team. You guys do your own thing. I'm not going to fight for you. Hey, pass the popcorn, Uncle Bob. Hey, give me a hot dog.
Hack this shit. Let's establish some truth before I get into it. You, me, every single white person has an epigenetic predisposition for violence based on our ancestral past. Right? Like, we have to start here. We have to accept that. You can't have ancestors as white people that ate black people, that fed black children to alligators, that participated in public executions of black men, women, and children. You can't be a white person and have white ancestors that brought their children after church to watch black people be publicly executed and think that shit doesn't affect your bloodline, right? So like there's a severe amount of violence from our white ancestors that epigenetically and foundationally changed our DNA throughout the course of history. And so I see a lot of people struggle with, how are we here right now? How can things be this bad? Why don't more people care? Well, when you have an epigenetic predisposition for violence and you get somebody like Donald Trump and the Trump administration to help reinforce the violence that is flowing through your DNA, you end up standing 10 toes down in your violent white identity, right? And so I think a lot of white people that are, and this affects all of us. I'll get into the left side of the political spectrum in a minute. But I think there's a lot of white people that are blown away by their MAGA parents, friends, family, coworkers, or whatever. Because you're like, you should care. You should give a fuck. You should care about ICE. You should care about kids getting kidnapped from their parents. You should care about the Klan 2.0, ICE. You should care that the Trump administration wants a whites-only country. Like, the list goes on. You should care. You should care that the United States is bombing residential areas in Iran, right? The list is long, long, long. We have concentration camps. You should care. But that is trying to talk to somebody with the expectation that they have empathy or that they operate from a worldview of empathy. MAGA doesn't give a fuck. Their only operating system is violence. So anything that challenges their worldview, their perception is automatically deemed a threat in their mind, right? Because if I operate out of violence and I see every other community that isn't white or straight as a threat to my way of life, then I'm never going to operate in empathy. I'm only going to look at those communities as if they are dangerous to me. So that's how MAGA works, right? Just straight up violence. Again, the epigenetic predisposition for white ancestral violence is off the charts. And this is interesting, right? Because if you see white people that are MAGA, they're like, hey, I fucked up, I made a mistake. Yeah, Trump is wrong, administration is wrong, whatever. They're still a fucking bigot. You see it across the internet. You can see it in real life. You know, if you talk to somebody that walks away from MAGA, they still have the same bigoted, violent views. And they can only hold it for like 2 seconds before they just throw that shit out there again for everybody to see. And the more the pressure grows inside the United States, the more they double, triple, quadruple down on the shit. It doesn't matter. It's illogical. It's not intellectual. It's not moral and ethical. Like, you cannot have a conversation with MAGA that involves things that we would usually interact with, like in humanity, about, you know, morals, ethics, again, logic, intellect, because that is not where they operate from as a human being. Because if they had to accept openly or internally that, you know what, these concentration camps really probably are not that good, that will blow the fucking doors off their identity. They will no longer be able to function in society. Their mental health will go to fucking trash. If you start unraveling the sweater, so to speak, if there's one sliver of humanity that creeps in and says, hey, the shit that's happening right now is fucked up, then they have to accept that for the past 10 goddamn fucking years that they supported this shit, and the amount of violence they would be left to hold in their mind if they said, you know what, yeah, I fucked up. Why did I ever support Trump? I was engaging in white supremacy and racism. Then you have to take accountability, which white people don't do in general, hence why we're here. They would have to take accountability for the amount of fucking blood that they have on their hands, and they will never fucking do that. Which is just like our white ancestors. Which is just like your grandma or your grandpa that participated in segregation. And on the flip side, you have white people on the left that are frozen, that don't know what to do, that are watching all this shit, say, this is really fucking bad, but that's about all we got. That also plays into our epigenetic predisposition for violence. Because if you look at segregation, Jim Crow, you keep going in the past. You don't have to, because it's all right here, right now. But if you look at our white ancestors, of course, there were going to be white people that were like, hey, I didn't participate in publicly executing black men, women, and children, so I'm a good guy. Or I didn't participate in chattel slavery. I didn't participate in indigenous genocide. I said, no. So that means I'm a good person. No, because we stood there. Our white ancestors stood there and watched all of this shit happen. Turned a blind eye. Never stepped in to fucking stop this from happening. Went along their lives engaging in the privilege that they got from the violence that played out that they believed they weren't participating in, and carried on with that 400-year head start. Which again is just also engaging in violence. So you have the entire political spectrum of white people with an epigenetic predisposition for violence that are watching violence play out on a mass scale, white violence playing out on a mass scale, and you have MAGA, who does not operate within empathy, enjoying it, having like a sexual connection to the violence that sounds crazy, but that's a whole other discussion. But having this lust, this bloodlust, watching all this violence play out, and then you have the left who's like, I'm just sitting here watching it. I don't want to get too involved. I don't want to lose too much, which again is our ancestral violence as well. So all in all, we're here because of white people as a collective. And again, MAGA is rooted in the epigenetic predisposition for violence, that this is the white violence we are seeing is giving them fucking life every single day. And the minute you try to touch that life source, they're going to tap into that homicidal, fucking violent, torturous, ancestral DNA and become feral and go after fucking everybody. And tell you they're a Christian and a good person.
You know what this hat is? It is the Kansas City Monarchs. I got this for Father's Day. It reminds me that we're not great. It was a Negro League baseball team. Why did we have to have a Negro League baseball team? If we're such a great nation? Why has a woman never been president of the United States, even though 51% of our country are women? Because there's too many misogynistic pigs. And there's two sides of this equation. You have the racism combined with the misogyny in 2024. 77 million Americans went to the ballot box and ignored rape, Donald Trump sexually assaulting 24 women, cheating on every wife, having sex with a porn star while his wife is nursing their 2-week-old son, and committing 34 felonies. He lied about the election being stolen with no evidence, while thousands of his white trash, make America white again, hillbilly, 16th inbreds, beat police officers. Michael Fanone had a heart attack, almost died. Sitnick died the next day. 4 officers committed suicide. He added $8.2 trillion to the debt. He's posting memes of the Obamas as monkeys. He stole from cancer charities. He's defending child molesters and is very likely a child molester. And he has dinner with white supremacists in his house. And 77 million people said, oh, this is really hard. I don't know. Oh, God, I just can't vote for the black woman. I don't like her laugh. I don't like her shoes. I don't like her suit. Ooh, she slept her way to the top. And a convicted felon tapped into your hatred, your misogyny, and your racism, and a rapist, child molester, convicted felon convinced you that the dirty brown people coming from Mexico were the problem for your shitty life. That's exactly what he did. Because you couldn't stomach the black woman. And Barack Obama was the first domino. When white people talked to John McCain and he took the mic, do you remember what that white trash MAGA lady said? He's a Muslim. He's a terrorist. You know why? Because of 9/11. What are you seeing right now? What is Ted Cruz post about Zoran Mamdani? He's a jihadist. Andy Bogles, a Republican, post a picture of 9/11 when Zoran Mamdani was running. What are they calling El Said right now? A jihadist, a terrorist. He hates America. A black man was in the White House instead of out in the fields picking their cotton. That the outside of the White House didn't match the inside. And y'all just lost your shit. And he ran on a platform of misogyny and racism and white supremacy. A convicted felon and a rapist convinced you, by tapping into your racism, that the dirty brown people were destroying America. You know how stupid you have to be to believe that? Do you? And see, Donald Trump is not the actual problem with this country. His white trash base is. Because they keep voting for it to make America white again, to keep it white, to go back to segregation. They're gerrymandering all the black districts. This is not going to be fixed by the midterms. because this is not an issue of Democrat or Republican. There's not enough people that look like me that want to acknowledge why we're here. And if you do acknowledge it, you're not willing to be uncomfortable and take the lumps. You're not willing to talk to your brother-in-law or sister-in-law or mom or dad or grandma or aunt because you don't want it to be uncomfortable. You know what? If you're black in this country or not white, you don't have the luxury of putting your head up your ass and acting like it doesn't affect you. That's privilege. Has nothing to do with money. When are you going to start fighting and actually fixing this country? Because black people have dealt with this shit for 400 years. And too many people that look like me sat around and said, it doesn't affect me. I can't afford to do anything. I don't want to be uncomfortable. That is why we're here. Unchecked, unaddressed white supremacy. So we got Donald Trump and Make America White Again. Donald Trump is the Hail Mary for white people to hold on to white power as long as possible. He will burn Rome to the ground in order to maintain white power. He is the grand wizard of this country. It's about time we just call it out for what it is. Donald Trump is a white supremacist, convicted felon, and a rapist. And 77 million people were so disgusting that you just couldn't vote for the black woman. Have a white day.
My husband just got an email saying that he lost his job because of the tariffs. He's a cargo pilot. And we voted for the lady. We didn't vote for this. This is so uncool. It's like, what are they trying to do? Like, what is happening? I'm sorry that happened, babe. Are you alright?
It's alright. I guess I can
He'll look for another
get
job.
a truck driver job.
The pilot.
I got a fuck around and find out story that I want to share with everyone, because it's a good one. Now granted, the find out part hasn't been 100% realized, but somebody is shitting their pants right now. Good family friend works as a teacher in a local school district and as a special education teacher. Diehard Trump fan, voted for Trump, was beating her chest all about it. Mid-30s, she actually just got this job a couple of years ago and was very excited about the opportunity. But what she didn't realize for some reason, and just recently found out yesterday, in fact, was that her position is 100% funded by a federal grant from the OSEP program. Yeah, OSEP is Office of Special Education. It's a division of the department, the U.S. Department of Education, and they provide federal funding in the form of grants to assist in local communities, ensuring that they have proper coverage, if you will, and funding for special education needs. This lady's job is 100% funded by that office. So the find out hasn't been 100% realized, but this lady is scared because now all of a sudden she does care about the Department of Education and she does appreciate it. She flat out said that she didn't know that, and if she had, maybe she might not have voted for Trump. The reason she says that is because she knows and believes that Trump is, in fact, going after the Department of Education. She didn't think it affected her, so she didn't give a fuck. She gives a fuck now. So I don't want to laugh at the lady. It sucks. But at the same time, fuck MAGA.
If you used to be MAGA or a Trump supporter and now you're not, what was your turning point? What was the moment that made you begin to question maybe everything that you believed? I've shared on here multiple times that I voted for Trump in 2016. Coming out of that world was one of the hardest things that I've ever done. Our brains are hardwired to not want to receive new information that may go against what it believes it already knows. And that is just a survival mechanism that our brains are designed to do. It's designed to keep us safe, it's designed to keep us comfortable, it's designed to keep us in homeostasis. Now, what's also interesting is the same part of our brain that regulates things like our personality also regulates our political belief, which is why when somebody has an opposing belief, it can oftentimes feel like a personal attack. And it feels like a personal attack because you feel that your well-being, your homeostasis is being threatened. So when Trump was first elected and people would say, you need to do your own research, I would listen to people that generally agreed with my belief systems. Like, Ben Shapiro or other Republican commentators, and I would say I am doing my own research. And I genuinely believed that that's what I was doing. However, I wasn't researching anything. I was just following somebody else's belief system. So it was actually really hard for me to go outside of that circle and that echo chamber and start researching nonpartisan news sources, which can be hard to find. It's very hard to find information or news sources that come from people or groups that are non-biased. People often assume that I just went to the other side and think that all I do is listen to CNN. I don't think I've ever listened or watched CNN. So I'm curious, what was the moment for you and what did you do to get yourself out of that echo chamber?
Welcome back, guys. The country has failed already. It has obviously failed. That's the honest truth. And this is because some of your white folks choose to make things be like this. And I love it when white folks are calling out each other. I love it when they are saying that they are really the issue. I love it when they are saying that at the end of the day, black people have literally warned them. Black people have literally told them every single thing that they need to hear. A lot of them are panicking right now. A lot of them are now realizing that instead of moving forward, they are moving backward every single now and then. You don't literally hear people talking about they want to visit America anymore. Because not like they don't want to, but when they read the policy, the rules and regulation and everything that is circulating it right now and what the orange man is doing, a lot of people will just choose to be like, let me just stay on my lane. Let me just stay in my country. And this is one thing that the orange man has failed to understand. So no matter what you do, no matter what you say, he is going to do what he wants to do. He hates correction. He don't even like people to correct him. He don't even like people to make it look like they're trying to help him. That's the kind of person the orange man is. So when I saw this clip, I was like, nah. It has gotten to the point where themselves should learn how to fix America. And you know, one beautiful part with black people is the fact that they plan for raining days. Black people plan ahead. Before you say A, they already know that they need to have plan B. That is one beautiful part about black people. But you see, some of these spam color people, whenever they just want to do things, they just go ahead, do things without even realizing that this same thing is hurting them and is causing a lot of detriment into the image that they have literally created. It is more painful right now that black Americans actually took their time to build this country. They built it from scratch, and at the end of the day, one man is just there trying to rubbish every single thing that they have literally built. It's just so sad. But at the same time, what do? Life goes on, we move. So you people should keep lamenting, you people should keep panicking as white folks, you people should keep crying. Because you people started it, you people should fix. And honestly, kudos to every single white man out there, every single white woman out there that understood the struggles of black Americans and are always according them that respect. I want to say thank you to every single one of them. Because I strongly believe and I strongly know that it is not every single white folks that are comfortable with what is happening. Do you get? By the end of the day, this orange man is not even ready to listen. He's not even ready to fix things. He keep bringing them backward instead of moving forward. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Credit to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you, liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks. Also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, guys, with that being said, with no further ado, like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.